two people, who would you choose?
The age-old question remains unanswered.
Okay, prepare yourselves, because have we got a star-studded show for you today. And let me tell you, Elvis lives and breathes. He's all shook up and ready to shake his hips for you right here in the studio. Fan or fanatic, you decide. Today's Trisha. To a glittering star-studded show, but first we meet the people who go to extraordinary lengths to follow idols. Meet James. He says his mate has got to get over his expensive obsession and become a fan of real life. Hi, James.
Hiya.
James, we're talking about what? One of your best friends?
Yeah, my friend Simon Porter, yeah.
Yeah, and who is he obsessed with?
He's obsessed with Janet Jackson.
To what degree?
He sold his car, sold his house, which was 90 grand. He spent about £35,000 on her. He's got a massive tattoo with, she signed it in London. He met her twice with his ex-boyfriend Glenn.
Hang on. He sold his house.
He sold his house in Guildford.
And his car.
And he moved to America to follow her for 6 months.
He spent all that money following Janet Jackson around.
Yeah.
Okay, and then there's a tattoo.
He's got a tattoo on his arm.
Yeah.
And it's the Janet CD.
Yeah.
It's got where she's got boobs and some bloke's holding her boobs. He's got that on his arm. And when she met him in London, she signed it for him.
Right.
The next day he went and got it tattooed over.
Right. So he sold everything. So he's back here now.
He's back in England now. He's been back in England since last year.
So does he talk about Janet Jackson all the time?
Janet Jackson's all the time. It's just Janet Jackson all the time. He's in his car and he's doing all the moves to If. There's a song called
Like
If.
what? What do you mean?
All this and all that all the time.
While he's driving.
While he's driving. Oh, you know Elephant and Castle in London, the massive
Roundabout,
roundabout.
yeah.
We nearly died going up there on a Saturday night one time because he was so in the moves to dance and stuff. Yeah, it was really bad, honestly.
Are you serious? Are you really serious? Is he serious about this, or is it
You
just...
wait until you see him and you will know that he is 100% that person.
I mean, they're laughing.
He runs the pub in Guildford and like they had like a divas night and he dressed up as Janet Jackson and he thought he was Janet Jackson.
But I mean, look, they're laughing about it, but this is somebody who spent all of this money, sold his house and his car.
It's a very serious matter. It's a very serious matter.
Do you argue about it?
All the time.
Well, what do you say to him? Don't you say...
You try your best to say what you can say to him, but at the end of the day, he doesn't listen to you. He won't. He says, "It's my life. It's my life." But at the end of the day, he was where he worked for Barclays Bank. He left his job. He sold his house. He moved to America.
Did you know him when he did all of this?
Yeah, I've known him for 6 years.
6 years. And was he mad about Janet Jackson then?
Yeah, he was. He's always been mad about Janet Jackson ever since he was at school.
Yeah.
He's been mad about Janet Jackson, and
has it got worse and worse and worse over the years?
Yeah, I like Madonna, and I've been to see Janet Jackson twice.
Yeah. And
it's just a nightmare all the time. Janet Jackson in his bedroom. I was getting ready in somebody else's room upstairs in the pub the other day.
Yeah.
And I heard James, and I thought, something's happened to him.
Yeah.
It's because she's done a new song to Together Again. It's like a slower version. And he was having a heart attack because somebody recorded it for him.
So what do you want to say to him today?
Get a life.
What? Hasn't he got a life?
He's got a very good life. He works in the pub, right? He runs the pub in
but what do you want to
Guildford.
say to him, get a life, if he's already got a very good
Well, I
life?
tell him his life's more important. Janet Jackson's never going to go. If she died tomorrow, what would happen?
Well, what does he want from Janet Jackson?
He'd turn straight for Janet Jackson. He would turn straight for Janet Jackson.
What does he want? You mean he wants to have a meaningful relationship with Janet Jackson?
I don't know what he wants.
Have you never asked him? What it's
No,
really
I
all
don't think I
about?
have actually, no.
It's
just, I'm so obsessed with her.
Yeah.
You have to take it in, you just have to say, like, yeah, you're obsessed, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, if there's like somebody new in the group, whatever you call it, somebody comes and I meet somebody or whatever, they don't like Janet Jackson, no way, you won't speak to them. He's really, really
So
rude
you've
to
got
them.
to like
You've got to like Janet
What is
Jackson.
this about buying 3 of everything? What's that
He
about?
buys 3 of every single, 3, if there's magazines, he buys 3 of them.
What? That Janet Jackson?
Yeah.
Why?
Because 1 to keep, 1 to show, and 1 just in case anything happens to the other 2.
I mean, what's going to happen in the future, do you think?
I think it's an illness. I've never liked to admit it to him, but I think personally that being obsessed with somebody to the extent that he is, I think he's got to slow it right down because, you know...
But what do other friends and family say about this?
His family don't really say that much about him because he doesn't really have that much to do with his family. But his other friends, it's like he DJ'd in the pub, sorry, and it mixed Britney Spears with Janet Jackson. I just can't do Britney Spears, and it's like, you know what I mean? And people are trying to dance to this, and it's just getting...
People are trying to dance to Britney Spears?
And then on the side I'm really sweating, I'm really bad sweat.
That's all right. Why are you sweating?
I'm
Why are you
embarrassed.
sweating?
I'm embarrassed.
Seriously though, are you worried about him as a friend?
Yeah, I am, yeah. I'm worried that just in case she brings a new album out or she tours again.
No, but what about his own welfare? Never mind about what.
Very well worried about him, yeah.
Well, so what happens if she tours again or brings
He
out-
most probably lose. He's got a licence of a pub. He most probably drop it all in and go again and follow her. And I think today,
He would do that.
yeah, of course he would. Yeah, he turned straight for her. If she was to meet him, if she was to walk on this stage now, and she said to someone in one relationship, he would turn straight.
Has he ever met her?
Yeah, I've met her twice.
But he's still gay.
Yeah, still gay.
So he hasn't turned straight for her.
No, but he.
Oh, she wanted to marry him or
Yeah,
something?
yeah. It's that obscene, yeah.
Obscene. Okay, well, let's find out how, you know, to what extent this obsession, as you call it, goes. Let's meet him. Come on in, Simon.
I'm not jealous. I'm not jealous.
Leave it out, James. You're jealous.
I'm not saying this because of you, right? I'm not having a go at you, and I don't want you to think that I'm being a bad friend to you. I'm just doing this because I think that you've got more to live for. You don't have to worry about Janet all the time, and if she's, do you know what I mean? If she's bringing out a new song or whatever, you don't have to do it.
I know, you're just jealous, James,
I'm not
honestly.
jealous.
You are
Can
jealous.
we
Why am I
see the
jealous of
tattoo?
Janet Jackson?
Sorry?
The tattoo.
What's up? Hello, Trisha, by the way.
Oh. Hello, Simon. What does Janet Jackson mean to you?
A lot. I've loved her since the age of 11, since she was in Different Strokes, and I've just grown up with her.
What do you
and
love about her?
I just love her look, and I love her attitude, I love her music, I love the way she can dance, I love the way she performs. I just think she's absolutely
What about
amazing.
any of the other Jackson sisters?
No,
Michael?
no,
Just Janet?
just Janet.
Okay, what about this money? We heard, is it true you sold your house, you sold your car?
Basically, I joined her fan club in London, and they gave us the opportunity to go to her concert and meet and greet her, and
Yeah.
it was like a week's package to stay in a hotel in London.
Yeah.
And basically, you know, I paid the money and I had the opportunity to meet her, and I did.
But what about selling their house and a car?
Well, but after I met her, I went there because I thought if I met her, she won't live up to my expectations, you know, because I didn't know her and I liked her music,
Yeah.
you know, and I actually met her face to face.
And we've got a photo of you when you met her. Let's have a look at that. That's you
Yeah.
with her in LA.
Yeah.
So what happened after you actually met her?
Well, she was more than what I expected. She's such
In
a
what
beautiful
way?
because she was just so down to earth. She was so nice, and I knew I was meeting her, so I went out and had this tattoo done of
Yeah.
her, and so I'd stick in her mind, and I asked her to sign the tattoo, and she did.
Yeah.
And when I was walking out after meeting her, her personal, you know, assistant took me aside and said she's overwhelmed with it, and she took my name, number, and my address and everything.
Did she write
And-
to you?
She didn't know, but
But you haven't told us why you sold the house and the car.
no. Well, I got back home and I went back to work. But like that was like my holiday when I was working,
Yeah.
and I was just depressed. It was like holiday blues sort of thing, and I was just really, you know, I was feeling really low, and I really got
Yeah.
excited at that time of meeting her, and I
You
was.
sold the house and car.
I left my job, I put my house on the market and sold my car, and I went like exactly a month after of meeting her to LA, and I followed her around America.
What are you looking for in Janet? A relationship, a friendship, what?
No, not at all. I didn't go there to stalk her. I'm not a weird fan where I'd go and, you know, hassle her. It was,
No, he's not one of them. He's not that.
you know, I just like watching her live. I like watching her perform.